Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Today was such an awesome day, and I'll tell you why. Today was an awesome day because today was intentional. Everything that I went through today, everything that I experienced today, everything was led with intention. Everything was led with a weird, extraordinarily amazing energy. And I wish that for every single one of you that get to watch this video, because that is such an awesome feeling to have when what's up, Corey? How you doing, brother? Hey, I'm just talking about what happened today and how today was amazing and how I wish that for everybody. And today I'm not even going to talk my own thoughts. I'm going to talk thoughts of Dr. Wayne Dyer. And if you guys that watch this have never had a chance to know Wayne Dyer, unfortunately, his spirit is no longer here. He did pass away, but this man was a huge inspiration to me in my life, because he taught me so much about how to connect into myself and to understand my own thoughts and my own drives and my own passions and how to experience them and how to find them. And I think probably the best thing that I ever learned from this man was by reading this book, and The Power of Intention. And what this taught me was how to actually be engaged with conspiring to create the life that I want and the life that I know that you want. And it's awesome because if you ever have a chance to read this, I promise you everything that I talk about, and it's weird because I don't remember the book verbatim, but I know that everything that he says in this book, I live because I'm so inspired by it. So I'm going to share some of his thoughts, and I'm going to read directly from this book because this isn't for me today. This is from him, okay? And I was inspired to share this with you today. So it's called Making Your Intention Your Reality, okay? And step one in this is to see the world as an abundant, providing, friendly place. And what he says by this is that when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. He says the first step, you're receptive to a world that provides rather than rejects. And I swear, if we ourselves don't pay attention to the fact that we are creative in this environment that we live in, like we've totally forgotten our power. And maybe you were never given that power because for some reason you had limiting experiences through your life or what have you, but like you determine the course and the direction of your life, right? And so to see the world as abundant, providing, and a friendly place, think to yourself of a time when you had nearly nothing, or when there was something that you wanted that you didn't have. And somehow the universe conspired to provide that, whether it was a job or it was an answer or it was a car or a ride or an opportunity to get a meeting with somebody. And things conspired in the universe to make all of that happen. And the thing is, like, had you not taken action, had you made a different decision on an opportunity that you had or a choice that you had to make, you would have went a totally different way, right? And so if you realize that the universe is very abundant and it's all in how you look at it, you'll inspire more to you by just focusing on that one thing. And I'll read this again. Change the way you look at things. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And I'll move on to step two. He says, to affirm, I attract success and abundance into my life because that's who I am. And the interesting thing about that statement, he says the words I am. And for all of you who are religious and subscribe to religion, you'll know that two of the most powerful words that were ever spoken in any English language or human language that has ever been created are the two words I am. Those are the words of God, right? I am all powerful, I am omnipresent, I am everything. And the interesting thing about that is when you use the words I am, you are expressly telling the universe, this is what I am. You're telling the universe, if I am sad, you're going to be sad because you manifest that into your life. If you tell the universe, I am depressed, or I am stoked, or I am happy, or I am excited, then that's exactly what you're going to be because you reflect that out into the world, and then you get that back as a mirror. So he uses the words, I attract success and abundance into my life because that's who I am. And he says that with this, your goal is to eliminate any distance between what you desire and that from which you pull it into your life. Understand that everything that you desire, everything that you want is right there at your grasp. But if you don't take action and you don't inspire yourself by using those words, I am, and then put all of the things that you're grateful for or all of the things that you feel that you need to be to act as if you already have that, that's when you create magic. Step 3, stay in an attitude of allowing. Resistance is disharmony between your desire for abundance and your beliefs about your ability or your unworthiness. Refuse to do anything or have any thought that compromises your alignment with that source. Interesting. Stay in an attitude of allowing, because resistance is disharmony between your desire for abundance and beliefs about your ability or unworthiness. So if you're not allowing the flow of energy to go through you, if you're not allowing things to be attracted towards you, why do you think that is? It's because you resist it. You resist it without even knowing. Because what you're doing is you're taking yourself out of the flow. You're making a conscious decision, albeit unconscious decision, because you're not paying attention to the choices that you're making. Hello, right? But if you focus and you pay attention to being intentional about the way that you feel, by using the words I am and putting yourself in that flow and understanding that there is more than enough that is being attracted to you to attain whatever it is that you're going after, then you will start to see that if you keep yourself in that flow, you're going to receive, and it's going to magnify the more that you give back. And that'll be in a coming step. So step 4, use your present moments to activate thoughts that are in harmony with the 7 phases of intention. He says the key phrase here is present moments. And that is so important. That is so important, because if you're out of that flow, you're making a choice to be out of that flow. Why do you typically get out of your normal flow? Why do you get out of a feeling of positivity or a feeling of gratitude? Why do you get out of that? Because of one or two things. One, you're worried about something that's coming in the future, or something that you may not understand how it's going to come to you in the future. Or 2, you're worried about something that happened to you in your past, right? And the interesting thing about that is that when you get out of congruency with the current moment right now, like this exact moment, but staying in that mentality the entire time that you're living, like this isn't just, oh, okay, cool, I'm happy right now, and then you just like forget about it. No, you've got to do that consistently every moment of the day. Because when you are in the present moment, and you understand that your choices are going to dictate how things are flowing in and out of you, and you're not worried about the future or you're not worried about the past, and you understand that there's enough abundance for everybody and that it's being attracted to you based on the intention that you put behind your actions, you can see how it all kind of meshes together to provide you that reality, right? So your intention, if you intend on doing something, in order to create that, you have to stay in the flow. You have to stay connected, and you have to do that by staying in the present moment. So, number 5. Initiate actions that support your feelings of abundance and success. He says the key word here is actions. I've been calling this acting as if or thinking from the end, and acting that way. Act on those passionate emotions as if abundance and success you seek is already here. Now, that's hard to do, right? It's hard to do because a lot of the times we don't lay out a plan for ourselves. We don't understand the steps that it's going to take to accomplish whatever it is that we want. And when I say accomplish, I'm not talking about like, oh, I want to see $1 million in my account. Although if that's what you want to accomplish, then awesome for you, right? There's a lot of steps that you got to do to get there. But what I'm saying by accomplishing is just to be happy in life, just to be happy and grateful about everything that you have around you. And how do we go about doing that? Well, He says it right here. Initiate actions that support your feelings of abundance and success. You have to actually be engaged. You have to be engaged, and you have to initiate actions. Engaged in the present moment by implementing actions that keep you in line with that frequency. That frequency of like, oh my God, I can accomplish anything. If you've ever done anything amazing in your life, and I know a lot of you guys have, I hope everybody has, right? But if you've ever been in this flow, this tremendous flow, it's called an alpha state. But if you've ever been in this flow where you're just creative and things are just happening and you're constantly seeing good things come to you, there's a reason for that. And the reason is because you're in that flow and you're consciously making decisions that are keeping you inside of that flow. And you've got to stay in that. You've got to consciously be aware that you have to create actions that are going to keep you in that. And that includes relationships. You know, I've said this a lot, and Eileen and I talk about this a lot. You know, love is a verb. If you're in a relationship with somebody, the only way to keep that relationship harmonious is by you taking actions for your partner to actually show them that you love them. Because if you don't show them that you love them, they're not going to show you that they love you, right? So if we want to get something from our partner, not that we're intentionally trying to manipulate them, but I'm going to give you a little secret here. If you want something from your partner, if you want love from your partner, or you need an experience with your partner, you better give that experience first. Because when you do that, your partner becomes inspired by your actions. And your actions will reciprocate that love back to you. And I promise you that if you take action every single day and you stay present in the moment and you're thinking creatively, that you will get into an awesome flow. And it'll increase your relationship or anything that you're trying to accomplish, right? So the next one is, remember that your prosperity and success will benefit others, and that no one lacks abundance because they've opted for it. You know, this is awesome to think about, because if you think of any millionaires or you think of anybody that's all like uber successful, how do they process things? Do you think that they look at the people beneath them and like, well, maybe I shouldn't say this, because I think there are some people that probably think very narcissistically like this, right? That they're holier than thou. But if you really think about it, those people at some point were nobodies. Okay, they were nobodies. They had nothing in life. They had no fans, no followers, no nothing, right? And they had an inspiration. They had intention, and their intention led to actions. That actions led to a reality that they're currently living in, where maybe they've reached the pinnacle of their success. And by doing so, and by being accepting of that flow and understanding that it is their responsibility to be in the position that they are, as successful as they are in line helping other people. Because if it's a musician and they go on tour, guess what? They're going to hire people to rig up their equipment, or they're going to hire people to do their lighting, or they're going to hire somebody to build a program for all of their multimedia that's going on. Or if it's a person like, say, like Oprah Winfrey, she's going to travel all over the world, and she's going to be paying hotels, and the hotels hire people to take care of her, and they hire personal staff, and they hire hairdressers and makeup people and all this stuff. And the abundance flows down from them. So it's okay for you to do the same. It's okay for you to accept the same abundance within your life, as long as your actions are in line with the way that you're supposed to pass information on and continue to flow things through you. Allow the abundance to flow through you and out of you to the rest of the world. And it'll continue to manifest, just like I just mentioned with relationships. Step 7, monitor your emotions as a guidance system for your connection to the universal mind of intention. That's a pretty wordy sentence, right? But listen to this. Strong emotions such as passion and bliss are indication that you're connected to spirit or inspired. When you've experienced low energy emotions of rage, anger, hatred, anxiety, despair, and the like, that's a clue that while your desires may be strong, they're completely out of sync with the field of intention. Remind yourself in these moments that you want to feel good, and see if you can activate a thought that supports your feeling good. So monitoring your emotions, that when you have a feeling of passion and desire, and it's like, yes, like this is exactly what I'm intended to do, that's basically telling you that you are connected to your higher source. You are allowing things to flow through you. And when you choose not to feel that way, when you're out of whack, when you're out of balance, you're choosing to feel that because you're not choosing to feel the opposite. And it's important for you to realize this, that you have control. Regardless of what's impacting you outside, regardless of the thoughts that you have of a bill that's due next week, or some pending litigation, or somebody that hates your guts and that tells you to your face, like, who cares? Does that impact you right now at this very moment? Like, if you're sitting here watching this and you have all of these things that are weighing on you, does that impact you at this very moment? Because if you're still breathing and you're still alive, then you can make a choice to get yourself moving forward out of that situation. But what the key to here is that you need to remind yourself in these moments of despair or rage or anger or anxiety that you want to feel good. Remind yourself that you want to feel good, and see if you can activate a thought that supports your feeling good. Do something, get out in nature, change your state, exercise, listen to music, do whatever it is in your life that makes you feel good. And when you start doing that, the creative opens up to you. And that's when things start to change. But you've got to change your state. You've got to decide to change your state. And you've got to take action, massive action, to move yourself out of that state. Okay? The next one, become as generous to the world with your abundance as the field of intention is to you. Don't stop the flow of abundant energy by hoarding or owning what you receive. Keep it moving. Use your prosperity in the service of others and for something greater than the cause of your ego. Interesting for that, right? You see people that create 501c3s, or as we call them, nonprofit organizations. But they may be famous, and whatever the case may be, right? So they've taken action in their life and they become some superstar. And as a superstar, they've acquired large sums of wealth. And in that, they work in service of others. They provide for other people. They open up charities and they donate and they create schools in Africa, or they help people, you know, that are homeless, or they create a homeless shelter, or their adoptions, or like there's a multitude of things that people can do in this world. And what it all stems from is it's their understanding that it is their job to continue that flow through them. And that when you stop that flow, the flow stops for you as well. And you can use this for anything that you're experiencing in your life. Again, I'll go back to your relationship. If you're having trouble in your relationship, or you want to experience love in your relationship, give love first. Because when you do, you open the flow back to yourself. The reason why you're not experiencing love in that relationship is because you're not giving it. And when you start to give something that doesn't cost anything by just giving somebody attention, or giving them your time, giving them your love, they're going to pay it back to you, and you're going to get what you wanted initially, which is to experience love with that person. Open yourself back up to the flow. Devote the necessary time to meditate on the spirit within as the source of your success and abundance. You know, I was just listening to Dr. Dyer, and he was saying something about meditation and how important it is for everybody to speak in the silence. Because if you take a noisy, loud situation, you can cut that up and you're going to have noisy and loud all over the place, right? But if you take silence and you cut it up, what do you still have? Nothing but silence. Doesn't matter how many times you dissect silence, you're still going to only have silence. And it is in that silence, and I promise you this, that if you've ever experienced a tough time in your life, if you've ever experienced something where you just don't have an answer, the problem is that we get caught up in the thoughts of why we don't have an answer, or the thoughts of what can come because we don't have an answer. Very rarely do we ever go into the silence of our minds to find the answer. We tend to go outside of ourselves to find that answer. We tend to go find a guru to find the answer, or we go and read a book or something like that. But you know what? You have the answer inside of you. You have the answer inside of you, and all you have to do is ask the question. Ask your higher intelligence. Ask yourself, what can I do to get out of this? And when you come out of your meditation, you come out of the silence, You're going to have intuitive thoughts. And the most important thing that you can do, as I said yesterday in my video, is listen to your intuition and write down what you have as inspiration. Write it down. Pen to paper. Write it down. You're not going to know why. You're not going to know what. You're not going to know how. It's going to tell you do this or do this. And you may not have all of the steps, but that's not for you to worry about. Your job is just to listen. Listen to your own intuition. And when you have these inspirations, write them down. Because that is going to help trigger additional things that are going to bring themselves to you and present themselves. And you're going to be like, oh, that's why I thought that. Because look at this. This is awesome. This is happening now. Okay? And the last one, develop an attitude of gratitude for all that manifests into your life. Be thankful and filled with awe and appreciation, even if what you desire hasn't arrived yet. And it's interesting because, you know, as powerful as we are, we tend to forget about what we have. And I'm not talking about possessions. I'm not talking about money. I'm not talking about, you know, fame or wealth or any of this stuff. Although those are the gifts that you receive by giving service of others, right? People get rich or people make a lot of money because they're in service of other people. They're doing something for other people, whether it's entertaining them or doing something for the greater consciousness. Hello, camera. And what tends to happen for these people is if they give back, if they give back to society, they get that love in return, right? And they receive. The thing is, if you lose your sense of gratitude, if you don't take time out of your day to tell somebody why you're grateful for them in your life, if you don't remind them of the little things that they do for you, if you don't inspire them by your words or by your actions to be inspired back to give to you, if you don't focus on the fact that you have the opportunity to make a choice in your life that's going to lead you down a path that's going to bring you better in your life, if you don't realize that the people that are in your life are there for a purpose and they're there to help you, if you don't realize that the things that you deal with, even though they're challenges sometimes, are there because they're intended to help you to learn a lesson because you're not listening. If you're not grateful for the fact that you're alive, you're going to miss everything that you have the potential to experience. Everything that you really want to experience is there for you to go and grab. You've just got to take the initiative to be in the flow, to give back, to be grateful, to take actions, to be inspired, to always choose to be happy, to always choose to be grateful, to always choose to want to do things in the direction that you're supposed to be listening from your intuition and the knowledge that you're gaining from within. Everything that I mentioned, all 10 of those steps, if you live in that mindset and you continuously give your best, then you'll always get the best. And that's why I'm here. I am here to give my best. And I thank you, Samantha and Daniel and Anna and Eileen and Corey and everybody else who's watching this later on down the road who maybe didn't come on live because you were too busy living your inspired life. I thank you for watching. I thank you for being inspired. I hope you go pick up this book by Wayne Dyer, The Power of Intention, because if you read this book, I guarantee you, just like it did for me, it will change your life. It will change your life because if it's drawn to you, if it's being shown to you, it's because the universe is telling you that you need to be inspired and that you need to take action. I hope you take action, just like I did by creating this video and just like I did by sharing what I read, because it's all about sharing your best with the rest of the world. Sharing what you learn and giving back. And that's what it's about. I hope you have an amazing, amazing, amazing rest of your day. And I hope tomorrow you absolutely kill it and you focus on what it is that you're trying to accomplish and you live your life with gratitude and thankful. Be thankful for every single opportunity and challenge that presents itself to you. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.